Hello everyone, it's H here for Counter Trend Capital, and on today's video we are taking a look at the US indices and the macro pictures for those. So just as a basic foundation, I want to do is the very high time frame picture that I have here. This is monthly time frame, again starting this chart from all the way from 1871. Keep that in mind, and with a pinch of salt with this count, how I'm going to be laying it out for here. So this is the count that I've been running with at the moment. Of course, these degrees are probably wrong. This probably should be Grand Supercycle 1 and 2 here on 1933 crash, or 32. And then again, this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4 would be the 2000 to 2008 crash, as some kind of flat structure, expanded flat or running flat, regular flat, depending on the indice, depending on the whether it's futures or not. It varies a bit. And since then, we would be looking for a potential wave 5 of this whole move. Again, that is very doomsday potential for everything. So let's not get too confused about this, and continue with this just as a potential foundation, right? So next chart I wanted to talk about is Nasdaq. What if, again, different interpretations in here at the start of 2000s, because our QQQ actually bottomed here, 2002, and not here on 2008. So on QQQ we would have this as a 1, 2 here, and on the Nasdaq futures we would have to label it here. No relations between the wave structures unfortunately there, but that's the way we have to do it here. But this was the way I've been labeling this for quite a long time, where we would have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, looking at the degrees, these are probably wrong. I just wanted to label it like this so we can get a clear view, basically. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, again hitting these 2018 to 2020 areas as a running flat. And since then we would have a 5th wave for a potential 3rd wave up in here. Now, since we have a very decent looking 5 wave here, locally I've been starting to wonder what this could be part of. Now we have taken out all the all-time highs on futures on Nasdaq with 1, 2, potential 3, 4, 5. It looks very decent as is. It's not the same scenario for SP500, but it might be that the market cycles are a bit different. However, the structures again varies depending on the indice and the charts especially. But this is something that I wanted to consider again. What if this is a 5? We don't have any kind of truncation, which is good now that we have taken out the all-time highs. And this allows us to think about different scenarios again. So, what if this 3rd wave was not topped here? What if this here is the 5th? Okay, and we have not even started this wave 4. The wave 4, if it was this size, it would be very small. Sure, we could have a 1, 2, 1, 2 of some sort, and at that point it would be a bit better sized. But what if we have a wave 4 to come, and we have not even started that yet? And these are the topping patterns of a previous lower degree wave structures. What if we have it like this? If this wave 4 of some degree, whether this is properly labeled or not, whether we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into these highs and running flat here. So let me label that in for you. Something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, running expanded flat, sorry. And then this, although this looks very much like a 3 wave, what if that was a wave 1? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That gives us so many different possibilities here. this, now as it has taken out the all-time highs, has qualified itself in my mind to be a fifth. And now, again, being a third wave here, looking for a fourth wave, did not come back to wave 1 territory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth of third. Okay, I just wanted to show you this scenario, and this scenario on macro means that we would be looking for a sideways correction of a very large degree that we have not even started yet. Okay, so that is the foundation for NASDAQ. Let's take a look at SP 500 and then Russell on the smaller time frames. What can we see? On S&P 500, it's a bit different. Here, we can't have this as a wave 1, 2. So again, based on the higher time frame SPX chart, I would still go with that. Locally, we have a couple of different ways of looking at this. WXYZ into the lows. To me, this is, or has been, the start of this bear correction. And we've been talking about this for quite a long time. I'm not sure how I want to be labeling this properly, this B wave. I used to like it like here. It was very good looking at that point. However, this can't be a start of something because we have taken out the high. So at least in 5-wave structure. It came out here very impulsively. So that's why we don't want to be shorting it either against the high. Although this is valid, where you could be having this as an A, B, and C, the retracement here between A and B is pretty much nothing. It's 23.6%, pretty much nothing. So on high degrees, again, that was not very likely scenario. Only recently I've found this kind of scenario that is, well, I'm not sure if it's any better, but it's an alternative like Alt ABC. So instead of WXYZ in here, we'd end the count here at these lows of June 2022. ABC here, A, B, and C. Sure, this doesn't really provide too much retrace either, but it's better. It's 50%. But ultimately, doesn't matter. No, it doesn't. We have a low, one of these, and then the high. On both scenarios, this here is the B wave, of which we are going to be pivoting downwards. Whether this local structure is done or not, I'm not quite sure. But again, that is something to keep in mind. The only bullish way of looking at these is this. And as this has not taken out the all-time highs, and I don't really like to think of any kind of truncations on macro, this is not really something that I consider having, unless we, again, this pushes up a bit higher, takes out the all-time highs, and then we could be thinking about a similar situation. However, it would be something different than the NASDAQ, because again, we can't have this as a 5-wave based on these two lows. Yeah, that is basically the bullish scenario on S&P 500. Bullish scenario in the mind could be also that this would be the start of something new, wave 2, and off we go to new all-time highs. Also, another bearish scenario would be having this as that ABC that we talked about, WXYZ coming down into that wave X. Again, we would have to say that this is a WXYZ, similar what we had here on high degree. Having these so close together, I'm not sure what to think of, because these generally are very rare, but if they are labeled like this, they seem to be not that very rare. Okay, but in this scenario, we would still climb up higher. After this 5th wave would be, or 5 wave would be done, we would consider that a 3 waves pullback and then another 5 waves up, and that would bring us to that wave Y. On this one, we would look for the retracement of that original wave structure into these areas of 1.382 to 1.236. So 5400 to 5650-ish, that area. Of course, it depends on where wave B pivots and the comparison between A wave and that C wave. But that is the main twist about it. So that's the macro pictures for S&P 500. Let's take a look at Russell, which is to me kind of simple. At the moment, again, this is considering the structures from the highs of November 2021. In this one, I think the best look here would be an ABC coming down. Oh, sorry, a WXY coming down, because this looks like an ABC. This looks like an ABC, although the extensions don't really fit too well. It's possible, I guess, to have the wave A here, to have a expanded flat here into that wave A as well. It doesn't really change the higher time frame picture, but that's that. Then inside here, we had that very sideways consolidation. I was thinking of a potential triangle in here. It looked very decent as well on RSI, but unsure if that fits too well. It would have to be the next leg basically of this move here, something like that. And again, as it does not really fit too well the extensions, I don't think that is likely. So to me, especially now that we have had this move to the upside, I would think that we have this leg and this leg as partners, and inside we would have a three wave. So A, B, and C inside here, and then that would be the B wave of this A, B, and C. And again, this is very complex, very many three waves. So again, loads of different interpretations can be played in here and shown as well. To me, again, I would like to think that this is an A wave, B wave, and C wave, or that this would be a WXY. At the moment, based on this move here being a three wave, I would label this as a WXY. It doesn't change anything but the target structure basically. So this last leg structure, that's the only thing that it would change. Locally, I'm not quite sure how to label this. It's potentially having labeled this as a 3. We would have this again similar again here, and then we would have a continuation to the downside. And that could either start off that wave C or wave X, depending on which it's going to be. But to me, these are all the scenarios that I'm currently looking for on macro picture. I don't specifically trade all these. I only look for the more probable scenarios, and I don't want to be the doomsday sayer or teller of all the US markets going to zero, and especially on the macro picture, that is so scary that it ripples. It would basically ripple into everything that we have in our lives, and it would cripple so many people that I don't want to be saying that it will happen. It's just a possibility. So I think we've gone through all the US indices variations that we have. I might do these once a month or something for continuation purposes, and seeing how this macro picture changes over time and whether these chart patterns are going to be playing out or not. So again, covering S&P 500, NASDAQ, and Russell. We could take a sneak peek as well here on Dow Jones, very fast, is very similar. I'm going to be just looking at the daily time frame here, but at the moment, the structure coming down was for me at least, the wave A. WXYZ fits the best, as in many other indices as well. Then we had a good looking rally to the potential wave A, three-way pullback with a running flat into that wave B, A, B, and then looking for that C wave that is potentially either soon over or we could have a bit higher move still. As we have already gone beyond the wave 3 here, we have created divergences. It's very possible that this whole thing is done. But Dow was a fast one here because this is the only scenario that I've been looking at for quite a long time, and we'll see if this comes through or not. But we'll update that again next month if there is something to update about. But that does it for this video. If you're interested in getting any kind of signals that we are providing on Counter Trade Capital, check us out on our Discord server. And also, if you're interested in getting smaller futures freeze, check us out on the exchanges. Links for those in the description below. Thanks for watching and catch you again on the next video. Bye bye.